Hello everyone! I'm going to start doing a weekly pregnancy update. I know when I was pregnant with my first, Oliver, who is now 2, I really appreciated being able to go online and look at other people's pregnancy updates just to kind of see like what's normal, what's not. So I'm gonna do that. I'm a little late to the game though. It's week number 20 for me. So here we go. Okay, so just a couple of basics. How much weight have I gained so far? I started off this pregnancy around like 130 to 135-ish, and I am up about 12, 13, 14-ish pounds. So it's pretty normal. However, it's more than what I gained when I was pregnant the first time. So I think that's just due to the fact that it's the second baby. And from what I can tell, most people gain weight faster, show faster, so nothing abnormal about that. I've been wearing maternity clothes now for 10 weeks, I think. When I found out I was pregnant, pretty much pulled out my maternity jeans from my first pregnancy and started wearing them because I noticed that that first trimester bloat was like really bad this time. So I was in the stretchy elastic waist pants pretty much from the get-go, and I never looked back. And in fact, I actually wear my stretchy maternity jeans when I'm not pregnant, so yeah, that's just me though. But I have noticed like some of my sweatshirts, sweaters, t-shirts that are not maternity are starting to get a little bit snug, and I'm hoping to eke a couple more weeks of wear out of those, but we'll see. Let's see, stretch marks. I do not have any stretch marks, did not get any with my last pregnancy. I think that has a lot more to do with genetics than my eating or exercise habits. Albeit they're good, but I think that's just, I hit the genetic lottery with that one. My mom didn't get stretch marks, her mom didn't get stretch marks. So, and I've never even bothered using, like, I know people get the lotions and the creams, never bothered using any of that. Last time having this time, I think that's just luck of the draw. Sleep. Sleep is hit or miss, which, given that it's not all misses, I'm pretty happy with that, because I tend to have a hard time sleeping anyway. And so the fact that it's 20 weeks in and I'm still getting like a decent amount of sleep, probably like 6 to 7 hours a night, I consider that good. Although I'm in bed for like a total of 9 hours trying to sleep, I just happen to wake up multiple times a night, probably every like hour and a half, and toss and turn for a while. I do not do side sleeping very well. I tried starting to side sleep at like 17 weeks because I think that's the recommendation, and my hips kill, my back starts hurting, and I wake up after about 30 minutes. So I've done 2 things. I have a big wedge from my first pregnancy that I used to kind of recline myself a little bit, and that seems to help. But even that's not super comfy. So what I've ended up doing is just taking a regular pillow, sticking it on one side of me underneath my back, still laying on my back, but I'm like, eek, just like slightly turned, and calling it good enough. I figure if something is going wrong where like I'm actually compressing that blood vessel, and restricting blood flow to my heart and to the baby, I would wake up from that and realize it and switch positions. So I'm not like freaking out about it like I did with the first pregnancy, where I like suffered through 20 plus weeks of like crazy hip pain from trying to incessantly sleep on my left side when that just didn't work for me. And not to mention I was exhausted by the end of the pregnancy, not even from being pregnant, just from not being able to sleep. So there's that. Exercise. I was an avid exerciser before I got pregnant. I ran a marathon back in April, and I wanted to keep that up as much as possible. I did with my first pregnancy, and I've been able to do that again, so that's exciting. I probably work out like 3-4 times a week. It's harder working out now that I have a toddler in tow, and his schedule often dictates what we can or can't do, but I've been walking, doing the elliptical, the stair climber. I still take some of the like kickboxing step style classes, and I do weightlifting classes. I just use common sense, and I don't run. That's the only thing I really wish I was still doing that I don't. But for some reason, like running for me is really uncomfortable. I don't know if it's more of like a mental thing because I'm worried and I'm thinking about like, am I jiggling the baby or what? But it makes me like anxious almost to run, so I cut out running probably like 5 weeks ago or so. Best moment of the week. The best moment of the week by far was getting to go to the anatomy scan. We already knew the gender. We found out that the baby was going to be a boy about 4 weeks ago. We went to our ultrasound place that specifically, that's all they do, is they tell you the gender. We could not wait this time like we did last time. Last time we waited till 23 weeks to find out. This time we found out at 16, so that was exciting. But we already knew that, and we just got to see the baby again, find out that nothing is like horribly wrong. There is one thing, his kidney, one of his kidneys, not both, the drainage area is slightly enlarged. This is called, I can't remember, so I'm gonna put the word at the bottom, but it can be a soft marker for Down syndrome. It can also be indicative of some sort of like tubing issues going on that would require surgery after birth. But in terms of like his specific enlargement, it's one kidney, not two, which is a good sign. It's at the smaller end of enlarged, which is also a good sign. Everything else surrounding the kidney, like the bladder, looks fine. And so usually if you don't see like a bunch of additional problems on top of that enlargement, it'll be fine. And by the next ultrasound, because they're going to follow up just to check and make sure that everything looks good, by the next ultrasound, everything usually for most babies will have been put back to, you know, an average normal size. So that's the only thing, but we're not worried. I was a little worried the day of, but I've since like done my research and looked at the statistics, and I like to think pretty calm. So movement. I have been feeling so much movement. Probably every couple hours I'll feel him if I'm still. At night I really feel him a lot when I'm laying down, especially if I lay more on my back. And it's not even like rolling feelings or like this ambiguous movement. It's like clear cut. He's like doing little kick lines in my belly, and it was so strong the other day that I actually could see my belly boop 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 boop. My husband was not home to see it, which is a bummer. He hasn't felt the baby move yet. I think his hand is something like kryptonite to the baby, because he puts his hand on there and the baby just freezes. So he hasn't felt it yet, but eventually. Do I miss anything? Yes. It's fall, and you know how all of the like hard ciders come out in the fall, or just like having a nice glass of wine. I really miss my wine. I miss hard cider. I really miss just being able to sleep straight on my back without thinking about it. I miss running, and I miss not having to go to the bathroom every hour. I swear my bladder is like the size of a thimble now. I will feel like I have to pee a gallon and I will run to the bathroom because I literally can't hold it, and then get there and it's like a thimble worth of pee. That's probably way too much information, but yeah, I miss not being tethered to the bathroom. Let's see, cravings. With my first pregnancy, I didn't really get cravings, short of I preferred salty food to sweets. This one I have no clear preference, but this past week or two I definitely have been wanting like soups and chilies and stews, and that could just be that it's the fall and that stuff's awesome to eat in the fall, but that's what we've, if we go out I tend to order, or if I can make it myself I do that, and that's pretty much it as far as cravings go. Anything making me queasy or sick. Morning sickness thankfully has been over for 7-8 weeks now, but my prenatal vitamins, it's a prescription prenatal vitamin that's chewables. I have issues swallowing pills. That's a whole nother story, but if I take them in the morning on an empty stomach, which is what you're supposed to do, they cause all sorts of like nausea and just like upset stomach. So I tend to take them at night now, or have the last couple nights at least, and that seems to help a lot because you can't take them with food. So if I could take them with food, I would make them better, but I can't. Anything I'm anxious about? Yes, again, my husband is in a PhD program right now, and he graduates in December, and he's in the process of applying for jobs. If you need a computational physicist who is like bonkers brilliant, that's probably not the best way to describe someone who is incredibly intelligent, and, which is rare for physicists, is an amazing people person, has a great personality, very sociable, then you should hire my husband, because he's in the midst of looking for a job. And with the kind of job he has, we're not going to be staying in the city that we live in now. We're going to be moving, it's like 99.9% sure. So having this like up in the air of when will he get a job, where will he get a job, will I be moving 8 months pregnant, will I be moving with a 1-month newborn, and then moving to a place where we potentially will have no family or friends is incredibly daunting. So that makes me a little bit anxious. But then on the flip side, I'm excited about it because I'm looking forward to this change. I'm looking forward to finally moving beyond the we're still living like we're in college phase, which is kind of what the last 6 years have been like. So I'm excited, but I'm anxious and nervous, which I think is how most big changes in life are. You're excited and you're nervous. So, Oliver, how has Oliver reacted to the pregnancy thus far? He understands that there's a baby coming, and he understands the baby is in my tummy, but that's about the extent of it. We got him a awesome book. Okay, I went and looked for the book and I cannot find it. We got him a book though. I think it's called I'm Going to Be a Big Brother. I'll put the official title in the video, but it helps. He loves to read, so reading this story like every day, every other day, I think has really helped him like understand what's gonna be happening, and he's excited because he knows that when the baby comes out, he'll get to hold the baby, which is every time you mention anything about baby, he says, "Baby, mommy," and then points to my stomach or lifts up his shirt and points to his stomach, which is really cute. And then he says, hold, because we keep telling him like, yep, once the baby's big enough, he'll come out and you get to hold him. So it's cute, just seeing how he's reacting. I'm not so sure how he'll react when the baby's actually here. Hopefully we'll have had months of like kind of talking him through it by then, that it won't be just this like complete shock, but you never know. And then last but not least, names. We have thrown around a lot of names and we've yet to agree like wholeheartedly on any given name. I have favorites that I would be sold on tomorrow, which are Elliot, Gabe or Gabriel, and Devin. But he's pretty much vetoed all three of those. His favorite is Alexander, which I'm not a fan of. 1, too long, and then 2, I don't like the shortened Alex to me. I just not for a boy. And the couple names that we've tossed out there that we both like but aren't in love with, well, either one of us loves it and the other is lukewarm, are 1, Augustus, 2, Jack, and 3, Ian. So those are kind of the names that are still on the table, but neither of us is completely sold on any of them. So if you have opinions, I would love to hear them. Maybe like the name reminds you of something or has some connotation, negative or positive, that we haven't thought of. Point it out in the comments, because maybe you could be the deciding factor in our baby's name. Okay, so anything else? I think that's it. Check back for more updates, for more informational videos. Hopefully I'll start being able to post more. And that's it for now. Bye.